1, 2, 3, 4.
For everyone's safety, Vermont requires a 7-day home quarantine with a negative COVID-19 test, or 14 days with no test to visit this winter.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
We're also recommending you take the time to do some extra squats, lunges, wall sits, or high knees.
24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
With reduced lift and lodge capacity, you're going to have a lot more time to spend on the slopes. So take the time to get your legs ready.
38, 39, 40.
Vermont in winter. It's worth the wait.
1, 2, 3.
This winter, plan your trip. Don't trip up your plans. Talk to your favorite inn or resort about smart travel suggestions and reservation policies. For full COVID-19 travel guidance, visit VermontVacation.com.
16, 17.
Let CareerBuilder help you rehire fast. Post your next job with CareerBuilder and get an application rate that's nearly 7 times higher than our competitors. CareerBuilder, we're building for you. Visit hiring.careerbuilder.com/recruit.
What's going on? What's going on? You are tuned into the Cigars with Mac podcast. Today's podcast is going to be about Louis Farrakhan versus Vlad TV. You know, there's been somewhat of an uproar in the hip-hop community about Vlad TV taking the minister's words out of context. Now, for so long, for over 40 plus years, many people have a problem with Louis Farrakhan because he doesn't hold his tongue. And I've had certain critiques of him, but for the most part, I have a lot of respect for him because, you know, he put together the Million Man March in the mid-90s. I remember I was probably in the fourth or fifth grade. No, probably the third or fourth grade. I remember that march. I even had a good friend who attended the first Million Man March. He told me it was unlike nothing else he'd been to in his life. Now, on the past 2 podcasts I did, there was a bit of the sound, you know, I don't know what was going on with it, you know, I hated to delete the podcast because it was a good podcast, so it is what it is, you know, but I like to provide good quality content for my listeners. So I don't know if it was the mic or was it my laptop, I don't know what it was. Normally I actually enjoy recording on my cell phones, but, you know, I have a laptop with the software and all that, and I like using it sometimes, you know. I don't want to waste it, you know. So please forgive me if there are sound quality issues. Please forgive me. I have a new mic coming in, so that should remedy some of our issues. But if it doesn't, I'll go back to podcasting on my cell phone. And the reason why I don't like doing the podcast on my cell phone all the time is because people call my phone and stuff like that. My phone's always ringing. So, you know, it's just a distraction, really. It throws me off sometimes. But anyway, I'm going to play a couple of sound bites. This may be a long podcast. So, you know, if you up for a long podcast, this may be one today. I don't know. Like I said before, I like to do my daily podcast. I did not do one yesterday because I knocked out 3 podcasts on Sunday and I was just tired. I didn't realize how much doing a podcast, when you really do it, how much it could take out of you, you know, especially when you really want to do it right. You want to do it the right way. You want it to sound good. Like I said before, a few of them on Sunday had some sound issues, man. And again, I do apologize. I do apologize sincerely from the heart. It's not my intent to just give you anything. I want to give good quality content. Many people ask me, why don't I go on YouTube? Well, I'll tell you why. Because I like to play sound bites, and sometimes YouTube will get you for copyright, and YouTube is just so it's so politically correct, man. And being on Spotify, being on iHeartRadio, I have a little bit more freedom. Being on Spreaker and other podcasting platforms, I have a bit more freedom. You know, it may be a slower drip, but that's fine, you know. I'm cool with that. This is something I enjoy doing, and it doesn't feel like a job. It feels like fun. It's fun to me. Anyway, today's podcast is brought to you by an Oliva Series V Milanio. This is a limited reserve edition. Very good smoke. I think I got a box of these at Total Wine. I know this pandemic, man, you know, is really throwing everything off, but I think things are clearing up. I think things are getting better. You know, we got to get back to normal, man. I mean, it was cool at first, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a people person, man. I finally, since the pandemic, I think I got one haircut from a barber about 2 weeks ago, and he was good, but he wasn't like my barber. You know, I only went to him because it was a Sunday, and I wanted to get my boys their haircut. You know, so. But I booked my other barber, man. He's real good. I've been with him for damn near a year now. You know, my other barber previously actually retired, man. He knew my head like the back of his hand, you know. But my new barber, man, you know, he's right down the street. He's convenient, and he's the shit, man. He's a good barber. So I want to shout out Classic Cuts in Saginaw, Texas. And my barber is Jonathan. So anyway, again, if there are any sound issues, please forgive me. I will get that corrected. I will have a new mic by the end of the business day on today, which is Tuesday, September 22nd, 2020. But anyway, let me play this first sound bite. This is a rabbi. His name is Rabbi Cooper, and he's going to give you his opinions of Louis Farrakhan. Here it goes. Here it goes.
Jewish people who's insulted us, said Hitler's a great man. I practice a gutter religion.
Why you always lying? Oh my God. And if I tell you that I never called Judaism a gutter religion, take it to the bank, because I ain't afraid of a damn one of you. If I said it, I stand up and say, yeah, I said it. What the hell are you going to do about it? But I never never said it. And for 21 years, you can't even write about me. If I do something good, yes, but he's the man they call Judaism a gutter religion. I never mentioned the name Judaism is what I said. Right. And I stand on what I said. That state called Israel, yes, sir, has not had any peace at the time in 40 years. And she will not have any peace. It's 50-some years later. Still ain't got no peace. I said she can't have peace where there's lying and stealing and murder and using God's name as a shield for your dirty religion. Your religion ain't what you profess. Your religion is your practice. You can't call me, telling me you for Jesus and hang me the next day and I can't get justice. You practicing a dirty religion. You call yourself a jihadist, strap a bomb on yourself and walk in among innocent people and set it off. You practice, call yourself a jihadist, strap a bomb on yourself and walk in among innocent people and set it off. You practicing a dirty religion. And whether you're a Jew, a Christian, or a Muslim, all of us have fallen short of the glory of God. And we use religion to protect our behinds from the crap that we do in the name of Abraham, Moses, Jesus, the prophets, and Muhammad.
Of his energies in the hatred of the Jewish people, who's insulted us, said Hitler's a great man.
Why you always lying? Oh my God. Did you praise Hitler? Farrakhan, did you hail Hitler? How could I hail a man that didn't care 2 cents for black people? How could I hail a man that is reported to have murdered 6 million Jews? How could I hail him? Well, what did you say? I said he was a great man. You see, you're praising him again. Oh, shut up. You got a dictionary at home? Why don't you get it out when you go home and look up the meaning of the word great? If Hitler were not great, he would not have spanned the time. His magnitude has affected the politics of the world. That's greatness. When you can live beyond a generation and move men's minds to think and affect their minds even after you are dead and gone, that's greatness. But it does not mean that that is goodness.
That's true.
The Bible calls Babylon the Great. Why didn't you take the Bible writers to task? That Babylon was a notorious city, filled with wickedness of every kind. How could you call Babylon the Great? Because she affected all of the nations of the earth at her time. She was great, but she was not good. Egypt was great, but she was not good. Rome was great, but she was not good. America is great, but America is not good.
Okay. That's one clip. Seems like for so long, a lot of Jews have a problem with Louis Farrakhan. I wonder why. I wonder why. I've never heard Mr. Louis Farrakhan say that he hates Jews at all. I've never heard him say that. And a lot of them, whenever blacks support him, kind of like Nick Cannon, thank God he didn't do it, but they require, especially when black people, certain blacks in the media, make so-called anti-Semitic comments. For some reason, they always make them denounce Louis Farrakhan. I don't understand what that's about. Please help me understand that. So that's one clip, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit. Like Louis Farrakhan said, the word great means just what it is, great. A massive feat. Like you can say someone is a great liar. So I understand that. I don't begrudge people of their opinions on certain things. I don't believe in that. I believe everyone is entitled to believe and say how they feel. Now, whether I agree with it is one thing. But again, we live in a free society that really isn't that free. And we see that now, that every time Louis Farrakhan says something, he gets belittled, he gets degraded. And that's not cool. But I like it that he doesn't back down. So you got to ask yourself, why is he so hated? I'll tell you why. It's because he's a man who is a real man. He doesn't bite his tongue on anything. And I respect that. I really do. I respect that, man. He's not disrespectful. He's not. But you got to ask yourself, why are certain people forced to denounce him, their association with him? Why? That's not cool. And this brings us to the Vlad TV criticism of the minister. Let me get ready to cue this video up.
So the poor
right, guys, I got the spot. Hold on. This is from Brother Ben X. This is the Vlad TV interview with he and D.L. Hughley. Let's listen to it.
I personally feel this is coming off the heels of Farrakhan's 4th of July speech, where he said, those of you that say you're Jews, I will not give you the honor of calling you a Jew. You're not a Jew. You're so-called. You're Satan. And it's my job now to pull the cover off of Satan. And he went on to say, like, every Muslim, when they see a fake Jew, grab a rock. And this is kind of what I feel is the energy, and a lot of people look up to Farrakhan. Overall, I think the NOI is a group that helped out a lot of people. Right. Hearing statements like that bothers me.
So if y'all, when I...
Okay, here's the minister's 4th of July speech.
You're so-called. You're Satan. And it's my job now to pull the cover off of Satan so that every Muslim, when he sees Satan, pick up a stone, as we do in Mecca. Did you hear me, Brother Abdul Malik? When you know who Satan is, you don't have to kill him, no. The stone of truth. See, that's what you throw. Allah says, had we wished to take a pastime from before, surely we would have done it, nay.
That's what the minister said. And he iterated, so-called. So, you know, it seems like people take his words out of context. In a little bit, I'm going to get to Vlad TV and a couple interviews that people critique Vlad TV on about his lying on the minister. All right, people, here we go.
So, you weren't here last week, but I had to briefly touch on our friend. Oh, look, someone right now, this guy Mikey Greenhouse said Vlad needs to be canceled now.
So, try canceling him then. Go ahead.
I mean, right.
Here's the thing about the Vlad thing.
You weren't here for that, so yeah, I did want to kind of get your take on it.
Well, first of all, we're regulars on there, and the fact that a lot of these Negroes are fucking in touch with me is because of Vlad, because of that platform. Listen, Vlad is a Russian white dude, okay? When it comes to like the racial shits like that, it's gonna pop off. But what you have to understand is there's a reason why Nick Cannon turned around and said, my bad. Not saying that, like I said, not saying Nick said his shit. He didn't say it the right way.
Right.
Not saying the information was off, but he doesn't know how to talk like that. Nick, you have been so much of a Nickelodeon clean cut. Now you jumping into this black nationalist shit. You're not an expert in that language, man. So, you know, he just did it the wrong way. And, you know, and of course they're gonna piece your shit together and clown you. Especially the Jewish-black relationship has always been really, 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 really polarizing. You know what I mean? Which it shouldn't be. But even me and Vlad talked about it when Jewish people, especially the Ashkenazis, the Polish Jews, the Russian Jews, when they got to the status of being considered white, they started oppressing motherfuckers. They started to be like the oppressors, like, fuck y'all, we're considered white now. Even Vlad said that shit. He goes, a lot of times when people get in a certain, they get to a certain status, they become the sort of the oppressive motherfuckers. You know what I mean? They say, fuck you black folks. You know? And Jews and black people have been working close together for a long ass time. You know? In music, sport, all kind of shit, entertainment, you know, suffering. You know, we always talk about, we're in the Holocaust. We talk about slavery, blah, blah. And then why are we at odds when we have so many similarities? You know what I mean?
I mean, that's kind of another subject. I kind of want to know how you feel. Like, do you feel that Vlad apologized? I think he should have apologized.
No, hell yeah. But he said, here's the thing. What I'm doing is I talked to Vlad the other day, and what I'm trying to do is get a face-to-face apology. Visual. Fuck that. I apologize to him. I want them to see that shit. Right. So I keep in touch with Elijah Farrakhan, his grandson.
Okay.
Elijah Farrakhan is a fan of mine. So I've been going back and forth, and I've been corresponding with him. And so the other day I said, hey man, Vlad actually came out and said, I would like to talk publicly to Farrakhan and apologize. And they were like, nah, we're going to send a representative. No. Why would you? No, it should be face to face. Because, you know, Farrakhan will sit down with you. He was always the guy like, let's sit down and have a real dialogue. So Vlad stuck his hand out and said, yo, and that's rare, dude. They usually, you know that, motherfuckers don't want to hear it. They're like, I ain't apologizing. He's an anti, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And Vlad said, I will personally, face to face with him, I would love to interview and apologize. He said that, dude. He said it. Okay. And I'm the one trying to coordinate it. So I went and stretched out and said, hey, they would like to set this up. And so Vlad has to send him a formal email wanting to, you know, So it's in the works. I hope it works because that's what I did. I got in touch with Elijah Farrakhan myself. And while people are talking shit, going, Godfrey, what you doing about that? I go, first of all, shut the fuck up. Okay? All right? So if we got to work it, all I can do is the best I can.
A lot of people think that you and I are going soft on Vlad.
No, we're not going soft.
You know, that we've been on his shit and we're giving him a pass.
No idea.
What do you say about that?
We'll say that one more time?
I said a lot of people think that you and I are being soft on him right now. Because
it's not about being soft, because I addressed it to him. I said, Vlad, people are coming at me, so they said that you didn't apologize. You said, hey, I misquoted him. I said, but Nick Cannon straight up apologized to your folks. You got upset about it, and you got mad about it, so you have to take that same intensity with our folks. You have to take that same intensity with our folks.
I think that is so true. You know, a lot of times when black people, when we fuck up, man, we got to denounce people. And the white race, too, they have to denounce people, you know? And I am by no means anti-Semitic. I have Jewish friends, too. One of my good friends, he was Jewish. He actually passed away some years ago. This man is responsible for a lot of my knowledge when it comes to German Shepherds. You know, he and I, man, we were good friends. We would talk for hours upon hours, and he used to always tell me, man, you better be writing this stuff down because I'm near deathbed. He knew he was gonna die, and he wasn't even afraid of it. And he was like, hey man, I'm about to get out of here. You know, you need to be taking notes of all this stuff, man. And you know, I think about this guy every day, man. Good guy, real good guy. He was an Army veteran like me. He was a paratrooper. You know, he used to jump out of planes with dogs. So, you know, he's very knowledgeable. He was very knowledgeable, man. And I think about this guy every day, you know. And I just feel like, you know, Vlad TV, you know, he's wanting to talk to the minister, and I hope that it happens, you know. But something I find so problematic is how a lot of black rappers especially will go on Vlad TV and incriminate themselves. You know, I'm not trying to say Vlad TV doesn't mean the black community any good, but it seems like all he does is profit off of us. Excuse me. And I have nothing against people making money, but at what expense?
1, 2, 3, 4.
For everyone's safety, Vermont requires a 7-day home quarantine with a negative COVID-19 test, or 14 days with no test to visit this winter.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
We're also recommending you take the time to do some extra squats, lunges, wall sits, or high knees.
24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
With reduced lift and lodge capacity, you're going to have a lot more time to spend on the slopes. So take the time to get your legs ready.
38, 39, 40.
Vermont in winter. It's worth the wait.
1, 2, 3.
This winter, plan your trip. Don't trip up your plans. Talk to your favorite inn or resort about smart travel suggestions and reservation policies. For full COVID-19 travel guidance, visit vermontvacation.com.
16, 17.
At what expense? So, at the end of the day, I feel like Vlad does need to apologize for his remarks. And I feel like we as a people we shouldn't be satisfied until he does do that. But in a little bit, I'm going to play some clips. You know, we still talking about Vlad TV versus Louis Farrakhan. I'm going to play some clips, man, of Vlad TV, you know, asking these rappers these questions. Now, some of the rappers, they kind of low-key check him on the questions he's asking. They do. And a lot of them won't even answer his questions. They kind of swerve it a little bit. And I think he knows that. So I just think it's a shame, man, that we are that hungry for attention that we'll go in there and incriminate ourselves, man. If you have a criminal past, man, let that shit stay in the past. You ain't got to talk about it. Don't indict yourself. That's foolish. But if you think about it, it is what it is, man. I mean, I know these guys, and I think with that situation, a lot of rappers have benefited off Vlad TV also. They get exposure. They gain a more financial support base. People listen to their music. Because I don't know if you guys know it or not, but when you download because nowadays the game is a little different as far as records and all that. I know they still sell CDs, but from what I've been told, the majority of their money is made off of shows and people downloading their albums legally. So that's why now I download their albums, because I didn't know that. And when I found out that when you download their albums, they get paid off of that, hey, I'm all for that. It's kind of like the podcast. When you download my podcast, I actually get paid off of that. So that's why I always tell people, like, follow, share, and download. I don't think I've specified download, but I am now. Like, follow, share, and download. Or download, like, follow, share. I'm going to put it in that order. So please understand, folks. I've been critical of some of the things the minister has done that seem, like, why would you take a picture with Superhead? That didn't make sense to me years ago. But it is what it is. He's not a judgmental guy from what I'm saying. And, like I said before, I just think it's problematic that blacks have to, when they make a mistake or they make comments about the Jewish community, they have to apologize, and usually if they know that that black person is associated with Louis Farrakhan, they are told to denounce him. I remember when Barack Obama was president, and I believe it was before his presidency. I can't remember whether it was the first term or second term, whether he was a president or not. But I remember he had to denounce his pastor, Reverend Jeremiah Wright. He had to denounce him. And he did do that. He denounced him. Because apparently him being associated with Jeremiah Wright would have cost him the presidency. I don't think it would have. I don't. I feel like he would have got into office regardless, simply because people were ready for a change. So let me play a few clips of Vlad TV interviewing a few rappers. And this trips me out, man. But these rappers, the videos I saved, they actually did not incriminate themselves. And me, I like to play the whole clip for the most part, so you can kind of see where it starts and see where it ends. I don't want to, I don't want to hold back nothing from people. So let me play this next video.
I recently had BG Knockout. It was a regular guest. You guys know BG Knockout? Come on. That's the homie. He said something very interesting. BG Knockout's a Crip as well. His whole life. And I started to bring up these hypothetical situations, right? You're in the car, somebody, one of your rivals shoots you. Do you tell the police who did it? No. Okay. You're in the car, your mother gets shot. Do you tell the police? No. You're in the car, your child gets shot. No. A random rapper that you're internet beefing with that's not gang related shoots you. No. Under every situation, he will not tell the police who shot him, regardless of the situation. And then he says something very interesting.
Certain gangs or certain races and groups have certain policies. You ever heard the book called The Art of War?
Yeah, Sun Tzu.
Okay, so this is one of the books that, prison gangs and groups read in jail. They study this book and they...
Now, Vlad is interviewing a rapper named TSU Surf. I've never heard this guy a day in my life. But I'll tell you, it's a few rappers on Vlad TV. I never heard of them, but when they came on Vlad TV, I started checking them out. So what he's doing for their career is working. Let's continue.
They live by it. Now, the whites in prison and the Mexicans, for the most part, have a policy that they can tell on anybody that's not a part of their group. It comes from the art of war. It's pretty much, getting rid of your enemy by any means. And the greatest war fought is one that, the greatest war won is one that you don't have to fight necessarily, right? So, they have this thing, and one thing that I do know is that if you at war, at odds with somebody or with an enemy, and you don't fight the war the same way, you're probably not going to win.
Number one, do you go by that same set of rules?
What, no telling? Of course, that's we gonna live like
right.
We gonna rock out.
So if your own child gets killed,
that's none of the law's business.
Okay, even if it's some random serial killer that got nothing to do with nothing.
Like I feel like I feel like there's one person acceptable for telling, and that's just my opinion. There's one person, and that's the civilian.
Right.
The civilian passes all laws of flop, you know what I mean? Like, if somebody's grandmother that pays her taxes, that has nothing to do with nothing, that goes to church every day or goes to the masjid or wherever she does and lives her regular life and doesn't live by these gang laws and these street laws and whatever laws that we've made up to live by, if, you know what I mean, if something happens to her and that's the man that stole my purse or that's the man that, you know what I mean, like, then she has all right to it. That's the reality of things, you know what I mean? It's people... Any 6 degrees of knowing of anything involved, you can, like, there's no telling. You know what I mean? If you're in a room and you just peek back and you see what we doing, but you know what we doing, no, there's no telling, period. There's no telling. There's no.
I'm a civilian.
You're a civilian?
Yeah, you shoot or rob me, I'm telling.
See, but niggas might not treat you like that, Vlad. I'm not gonna lie.
It is what it is.
Niggas might hold you up to a high standard.
I'm living my truth.
Niggas might hold you up to a high standard.
I'm not gonna go shooting back at you.
You got a couple niggas indicted.
No, I didn't get anybody indicted.
You got a couple niggas indicted.
I didn't get a single person indicted. Who did I get indicted? Who did I get indicted?
I ain't about to open another indictment on who you.
That is 100% factual. Vlad has gotten people indicted. But at the end of the day, they also kind of told on themselves, which didn't make any sense. So I'm just curious as to why do people go on there? I don't get it. Other than exposure. But why would you indict yourself, man? That's crazy. And this guy, TSU, he called him out on it. And I'm pretty sure he didn't get another interview at Vlad TV also. So, you know, it is what it is, man. Let's continue, please.
Indicted.
My name is on no paperwork. Nobody got indicted.
Realistically, it's like, it's a such thing as bait. Like, there's a such thing as bait. You're a baiter. You feel me? Like, you're a baiter. So of course you wouldn't take the bait for, you wouldn't say I got anybody indicted, but you fish. No. You feel me? You fish. And some of, you know what I mean, some of my peers and some of, you know what I mean, some of the people that sat in this seat aren't, I wouldn't say smart enough, but you feel me, aren't fast enough, you know what I mean, aren't witty enough or aren't intelligent enough to know when it's bait being swung their way or when they're supposed to dip the bait, you know what I mean, type shit. So hell yeah, you're definitely, you know when they say unknown CI, like it's you didn't do it, but hell yeah.
I mean, I don't work with the police. I don't
cooperate.
No,
of course not.
I don't take the stand. I don't. If the police ever try to seize any sort of footage, I would deny it. I would fight it.
You don't got to it. Go straight to YouTube.
Yeah, whatever. You're right now you're wearing a microphone under your shirt. There's another microphone pointing at you and 2 cameras pointing at you.
That was up to me.
Whatever you say is totally up to you.
No, but
and when you say no comment, I go on to the next question.
That I fully agree with you, but see, that's what I said.
But when you said I get people indicted, I don't get anybody indicted. I don't get nobody indicted. I'm going to put my foot down on that one.
Nah, listen, I respect it. I respect it. You feel me? Like, I respect you. And I'm not saying that, like, you don't sign nobody paperwork. You understand what I'm saying? But from a consumer standpoint, from somebody that's in the street, you know what I mean? Like, you know, in a certain world, and, you know, and you sit back and you watch somebody, you know what I mean? Like, you're a trickster. You know what I mean? You could, like...
You think I trick people?
A person that isn't fast enough to keep up with what's going on, a person that can't speak, you know what I mean, that everybody doesn't speak well, everybody doesn't, when the light's on, you know what I mean, everybody isn't, you know what I mean, so granted, a motherfucker sit here on their own.
Well,
a person could get tangled up in the Vlad TV interview.
Well, I'll put it like this. Some people that have interviewed with me have gotten arrested after the fact. But it was never because my interview came out and suddenly they get arrested. They get arrested for whatever illegal activities they end up doing.
Just end up on Vlad and then just...
No. And then, you know, the police are going to look at the whole thing. They're going to look at everything they put on Instagram. They're going to look at all the interviews they do. They're going to look at everything as a whole. Yeah. Right? They don't just look at Vlad TV. Yeah. They look at everything, you know? I never talk about anything that anyone is actively doing. We'll talk about a situation like yours that it happened. You know, if you did your time, and if you pleaded guilty to it, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If there's any situation that was in the past statute of limitations, we'll talk about it. But I'll never say, so what illegal activities are you doing right now? I would never, ever ask that.
Nah, I know that. Boy. I know that. We not.
No, man. I mean, and I'm happy to debate it. You know what I'm saying? I'll stand my ground. You know.
That's all it is. It's a good. You feel me? It's a good debate. It's a good friendly debate. You feel me?
It's a good friendly debate.
That's all.
You know, and I've had it lots of times.
You see, he even admitted that people have been arrested off of his interviews. Of course, he tried to say on the things they put on Instagram and on the internet. But we all know. We all know. We all know, man. And so if you know this, why would you go on there? That makes no sense to me. Hell, even Dame Dash has had critiques of Vlad TV. He calls him a culture vulture. Look that up. It's probably in the Urban Dictionary. You can just Google culture vulture. And I have to agree with him, man. I have to agree with him on that. I know for a fact that a lot of these guys, all they're trying to do is get themselves out there to gain more followers, more of an audience. But at the end of the day, man, you can't be telling on yourself. I think it's pretty sad if you ask me. And I kind of feel like, man, not trying to get off topic, but I feel like everybody benefits off of Black America but Black America. I really feel that way, you know. I feel like everybody benefits off of us but us. And I feel like Vlad TV knows that. He knows that. One thing I always tell people is that you're not going to tell me what I'm seeing. I know what I'm seeing. People love to tell you, oh, you're not seeing what you think you see. Yes, I am seeing it. I am. I know what I'm seeing. But people try to tell you that. People try to insult your intelligence, and this brother here, TSU, called him out on it. And like I said, I highly doubt he'll be doing another interview with Vlad TV for a while. I remember on one episode with Mac 10, which is one of my favorite rappers. I've been listening to Mac 10 since I was about 8 or 9 years old, man. And Vlad tried to bring up something with Mac 10 and Ice Cube. And Vlad TV basically Mac 10 basically just like threw him off with the answer. Like, man, I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about that. Because he'll ask these tricky ass questions to try to throw you off. And I'll admit, a lot of street guys, a lot of rappers, man, they're not like the brother TSU said. Some of them don't think quick on their feet. Some of them even say shit and don't think about it, and probably till afterward, like, oh man, I can't believe I even said that, man. It's kind of like when I was playing the video the other day, the sound bite between he and Jay Morrison, where they was talking about real estate versus stocks. And I mean, Jay Morrison was talking about his past. And I was like, man, what is this guy doing? Yes, your past. Yeah, I understand Jay wants to relate to the street cats. But, man, I wouldn't be talking about that on Vlad TV. I would like, hey, man, listen. I'm not going to talk about my past. I've even seen Vlad talk to old mob bosses, and they tell, some of the things they did, and I'm like, what in the hell is wrong with you? Why would you do that? And everybody has a past. I knew a pastor out here in Dallas. He had a prison ministry also. And something he said was to the congregation, he said, it's not that all of y'all are good, it's just that you haven't got caught. He said it's not that y'all are just so good and law-abiding citizens, it's just that you haven't got caught yet. You have a lot of people who they're just not quick on their feet, man. I'm going to let you guys hear another interview. This is with Benny the Butcher.
Yeah, man. I mean, especially the feds was a 95, 98% conviction rate.
Yeah.
It's no joke. I just interviewed Irv Gotti for the first time, and he beat a Fed case, which is unheard of.
They offered us where each one of us could do like 6 months. Chris could stay and run the company. Then he goes in and does 6 months.
Okay, so 6 months.
It was
basically nothing.
Yeah.
But you turn it down.
To which our lawyers said, we can't guarantee victory. So our lawyers, who we had great lawyers, Shargell and Lefcourt, if I don't want you to get in trouble, but if you do call them, they're fucking great, right? You don't want to use them, but if you do have to use them, they're brilliant. So our brilliant lawyers was like,
take it.
They didn't say take it, but they was like, wouldn't have been mad if we'd have said, fuck it, we'll take it.
Yeah, that's legendary.
In trial.
That's legendary.
In trial, he beat a Fed case.
Real shit.
Like, you just don't see that. But he spent like $10 million to beat it. So, and it kind of destroyed his company in the process. So,
yeah. So that's all they wanted.
No matter what.
That's all they wanted. They succeeded. So you got to be careful with them people. You know what I'm saying? You really got to be careful with them people. That's why, to be honest with you, I kind of talk freely about it and let people know what me and my friends is going on, because it's like harassment what we going through with the feds. So I let everybody know so they can't snatch niggas up and then niggas in jail crying harassment. Like before they even snatched my niggas up, like I was preaching this, I was speaking out against it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, luckily you're not doing none of that shit no more.
Oh man, my hands are so clean.
Yeah. And this is what I always say, man. Like, don't rap about illegal shit and do interviews about illegal shit if you're still doing illegal shit. Mm-hmm. If it's all in the past.
But you know what? You make it so like, you know what I mean? They can't help it. You know what I'm saying? You got the platform, you got a dope platform out, and it got a lot of views. And man, a lot of my brothers can't handle that. You feel what I'm saying? And that started with them though. You know what I mean? But a lot of them can't handle that. And it's almost sad that, you know what I mean? Because it's the same thing that they love. It's almost like being, you know what I mean? But let me ask you this. Okay, let me ask you this question right here. Let me ask you this. Now, if you got the platform and you know that, you know what I'm saying? Like, what make you ask those questions like that?
Anyone who I talk to, I talk about past shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't interview people knowing they're still doing whatever illegal shit in their present life.
Right.
You know, as I'm talking to them, we don't have those types of relationships.
Right.
And in fact, we've even, you know, you'll see certain interviews where it's like, oh, you have an open case? Let's not talk about it. Next question.
Okay, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when I interviewed the baby, he still had an open case, you know, when he killed that one dude in self-defense at Walmart. So I said, hey, we're just not going to talk about it. Now, I know everyone's going to want me to ask about the Walmart situation, but we actually looked into it, and we saw that it's still an open case.
Right.
So therefore, I'm not going to ask any questions about it whatsoever.
That's cool.
Let's go forward with it, and ultimately he got that case dropped.
Right.
But yeah, I respect it, man. Like I'm not trying to put anyone's. You know, we've even turned down interviews with certain people who have open cases.
Right, that makes sense.
You're going to end up talking about this, and we don't want to potentially hurt whatever legal situation you have.
Right. That makes sense.
Wow. Another time Vlad has admitted it. He has admitted that. And then he also said he researches. See? So if you're doing your research, you would know not to ask certain questions. Vlad TV has over 4 million subscribers. Do you know the kind of visibility I could get if I went on Vlad TV? It could change my entire life overnight. You could just imagine the traction I would get immediately overnight. That's crazy. But they keep going on there. They keep going on there. And they've been warned by many people like, hey, stop going on there telling Vlad your business. But the way he asked those questions is like, it catches some people off guard. And I've even been told that people are saying boycott Vlad TV. But they're not, because why? They want to get themselves out there. So they're going to go on there. But it is what it is, man. You know? Anyway, this podcast has been going on for about an hour. Like I said, you know, I told you guys it was going to be kind of long. You know, and that's not too long for me. I mean, I could keep going on, but I think my point is made. Anyway, thank you for tuning into the Cigars with Mac podcast. Remember to download, share, and like this podcast on your favorite podcasting platform. And we are out.
skiing, riding, sledding, winter biking, winter hiking.
No matter how you Vermont, please Vermont safely.
Cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, snowmobiling, snowman building.
This year, that means a 7-day home quarantine with a negative COVID-19 test or a 14-day home quarantine with no symptoms to visit.
Snowball fighting, ice skating, ice climbing, ice fishing, ice cream eating.
So we can all Vermont safely this year.
Dining, craft beering.
Talk to your favorite inn or resort about smart travel suggestions, reservation policies, and the best way to Vermont this winter.
Hot cocoaing, antiquing, shopping, fireside napping.
For full COVID-19 travel guidance, visit VermontVacation.com.
Recruiters, reduce your cost per candidate by about 50% with CareerBuilder. We connect you to qualified, diverse candidates at every stage of the hiring funnel. CareerBuilder Talent Acquisition Suite. Software packed with talent. Visit hiring.careerbuilder.com/recruit.